finally, Grace has been remodeled. She has gone from not too hot and at the beginning of this remodel was a little bit difficult because I wasn't sure how I was going to fix that very ugly facade. I mean, I knew I wanted to get rid of whatever that was on the front, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I thought about a porch that went all along the front, but I kind of wanted to keep her basic shape the same, only better. That was kind of the end goal for this particular project. I didn't want to change too much. I mean, I could have completely, bulldozed the lot and built from the ground up. Way more beautiful house, bless its heart. But that wasn't my intentions with this project. I wanted to keep it shape-wise, structure-wise, as similar as I could while making it look a lot more pleasing. And I did mess up on the dimensions of the front porch. And I mess up on the back porch too a couple of times, which is really weird for me because I'm OCD about dimensions and measurements, but sometimes that happens. It's actually quite satisfying to watch it be corrected when it's at a higher speed. That's actually kind of fun. And I really struggled with the front of this house, like I mentioned before, because this house is a box, and anytime you're doing a build, that's number one advice is to not build a box, and this house is a box. So I was like, what can I do with that? And here I struggle with the windows because I just wanted to give some kind of defining feature to this house that took away from the fact that it's very church-like almost. And it was really hard for me to fix that aspect of it. So I struggled with finding the right windows. I wanted them to be something grand, but not outlandish. I wanted it to still kind of look like a nice house. And I did decide to not stick with the modern architecture of the previous house because it didn't fit into the neighborhood where this house is actually located, and I am also just not comfortable with that style. So I went with more of a traditional homey country theme, and I wanted to do green, and I wanted to do some landscaping because of where this house sits with the little alcove of trees and backed up to a creek. I wanted to pay homage to that, so I went with the green color and some flower boxes, and later on I do a little bit of landscaping, but I don't go too overboard with the landscaping. That's kind of a rabbit hole you can fall down in The Sims because their landscaping is so beautiful. And actually it was a lot more beautiful in The Sims 3, but it's nice in The Sims 4 as well. And I did cut this out in the video. I had some trouble with the roof. I don't know if you noticed, because it happens really quick, especially when it's a speed build, but I do I do a trim around the exterior of the house, and the way that it was set up, because I did the inside build, I made rooms instead of just individual walls, so it kind of messed with the trim on the outside. It brought the trim inside the house, so I kind of struggled with that for a minute. I cut that out because that was just that was painful. But just so you know, I am not perfect by any means. I'm not a skilled builder. I get better and better at it. I'm learning as I go. I didn't cut anything out to make it seem as if I'm perfect, but I did cut things out just so you didn't have to suffer through watching them. But I will admit to my struggles, and I will admit to my imperfections and my lack of knowledge when it comes to building. Right there, I built some rooms on the inside to kind of trick it so it didn't bring the trim inside the house there in that open space above the living room. And this right here, the details that I do to the porches, I did have to go back and change that, because when you use the move objects cheat, sometimes when it comes to disappearing walls in live mode, move objects will make your objects not disappear like they should. So when I went into live mode, some things weren't disappearing like I wanted them to. I wasn't really comfortable with the view, so I did have to change the porch details a little bit in that regard. And the pillars that I made, the stone pillars, because the pillars that they give us are really tiny, and I don't like that. I like thick pillars in general. I love the craftsman look. I love that. I'm crazy about a craftsman. But so I wanted to also make thick pillars because of the house, because of its boxy shape, you know. Instead of fighting it, I just went with it, and I just kind of tried to do the best that I could with its boxy shape and work with it. So I used these big pillars instead. And after I changed some of the details on the porch, I also went back and kind of trimmed those pillars out with some smaller regular Sims pillars that they gave us, and it looked really, really good. You can see that in the thumbnail at the beginning of this video. It looks a lot better. So I did change a few things after this speed build was recorded. And in this build, I use a little bit of custom content during the decoration, but only a few things, because I want to be able to use stuff that you can easily download and get to. I will, in the next video where I do the interior, include those links, of course. And so far it's been safe custom content, and it's not caused my game to crash or anything like that. But for the most part, the build, I used base game, of course, and I used some cats and dogs, and I think a little bit maybe some get together objects. And I'm pretty sure in one of the rooms I probably used like parenting toddlers. I can't remember the name of that package, but whatever I used, I will let you know, and it will also be on the gallery, the expansion packs that I used, and stuff packs and whatnot. Look at that tree. That's beautiful. I love that tree. Much better than the poor little dead thing that was there to begin with. And I gave it decent sized vents. Did you see that? And they're white. Oh, those ugly yellow vents. How beautiful. And I love this. I love using rocks now that I know how to move objects around freely and how to size them up and down. Oh, it's wonderful, and it's so much fun. I never used the rocks before in my builds because I thought they were too big. And like with a grid, you can only put them in so many places, and it was always so frustrating. But since I've learned some, I don't know, do we call them cheats or do we call them tricks? Since I've learned some tricks, I use them a little bit more. I actually have a build with the dogwood tree that's in this build, and I have the dogwood tree circled with rocks, and it's so pretty. I wish I could landscape in real life as well as I do on The Sims. I wish I could live my life in general as well as I do on The Sims. Of course, the finishing touch, a nice little mailbox. And isn't she beautiful? She's just lovely. And you'll have to come back for the next video where I do the interior. And if you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified when the next one comes available, please give me a subscribe. Thank you very much.